Welcome to the Jersey Battle of Flowers 1967. And this is Jersey's very own band, the band of the island of Jersey. In front of the band, as you've just seen, were all the trophies that they won at Bugle in Hampshire, Jersey's prize-winning band. This band has done tremendous credit for Jersey and for the Channel Islands by winning so many trophies on 2 years in a row at the Band Festival in Britain. Today is, of course, a very special day for one young lady. She is Miss Jersey Battle of Flowers, Miss Shirley Knowles. She's a tea room attendant now in Jersey. She's been living here for 3 years. Before, she was an air hostess at Lydd in Kent. Her escort today and the guest celebrity at the 1967 Jersey Battle of Flowers is Lonnie Donegan. I don't have to say who he is or what he does. Everyone should know. Lonnie Donegan, this year's star personality, and on the float with Lonnie and Miss Battle are the two maids of honour, Miss Oriel Kingdom and Mrs. Margaret Cowburn. Over the road there we've got visitors from France, 3 young ladies from Saint-Brieuc. The young lady in the centre is Miss Fête des Fleurs de Saint-Brieuc, Miss Rosaline Finon. They've come over to Jersey specially today to take place in Jersey's Battle of Flowers. Queen of the Nile. That's the title of this float, entered by the St John's Rectory Youth Club. First in charge, the man right in front, is the Reverend Peter Manton. Reverend Manton founded this youth club, which is interdenominational. He runs the club, and this is their first entry in the Jersey Battle of Flowers. There are hundreds of marigolds, asters, gladuli, statice. There are some dried grasses, mare's tails on that float. And it's Joan de Grouchy who is playing Cleopatra, the Queen of the Nile. The cow jumps over the moon. One of the entries that's won first prize in the smaller classes. Cow jumps over the moon, beautifully picked out in marigolds and asters. They've used about 1,000 asters on this lovely little float, which of course depicts a fairy tale. Roman Scene. An entry put in this year by Miss Florence Bechley. Miss Bechley has entered the Jersey Battle of Flowers for 28 years. She is one of the top prize winners, and after 28 years of entering in the wild flowers section, she really knows her job, and this is a truly magnificent scene. And that's Miss Florence Bechley walking along behind, getting the applause of the crowd. Well done, Miss Bechley. The Jersey Master Hairdressers Association, I think this is possibly their first entry. Hair in Harmony, very appropriate, showing some of the beautiful lady hairdressers of this island, featuring some of the very latest and very outrageous, although I must say very attractive hairstyles. There's pink hair, blue hair, green hair, mauve hair, and the beautiful young lady in the centre at the back is last year's Miss Jersey Battle of Flowers, Miss Jean Goodell. She's got black hair. The float itself is one great mass of colour. They've used carnations in pink and yellow. They've used asters and statice. And the exhibitor says it's a mere 10,000 blooms. It's even complete with fountain. Channel Islands Drag and Auto Sprint Club have entered a very realistic looking dragster. It must be something like 18 feet long. It's made in asters and marigolds, I see gladioli there. It's beautifully fashioned. If only this could happen in Jersey, perhaps that is what they would really like. Drag racing in Jersey. Anyway, it's a new club, a young club, and this is their hope, perhaps, of the future. Another very beautiful small float, a mass of colour. It's a hand-drawn entry. It has just about every colour you can think of, and it's called With a Little Bit of Luck. And that little bit of luck is, of course, the States of Jersey lottery, because with a little bit of luck you can come up with something like £5,000. It's entered by Mrs. D. Carapel and her daughter Jean. So we can leave it all to the imagination and hope that our number comes up in the Jersey States lottery. That's what Mrs. Carapel's hoping anyway. And incidentally, she got second prize in her class for this very beautiful little entry. And you see the little boy there, he's certainly well decked out with lottery tickets. Those 10-shilling tickets, that's from all the previous lotteries. I don't think there are any current ones. If so, they better keep them after the battle. It's always left to one of the small floats done in wildflowers to get the Prix de Merit, and here it comes. Desert Island Discs, exhibited by Mr. E. Hughes. Pampas grass, marigolds in beautiful yellow, gladioli. I've got no quantity as to how many flowers there are on there, but it must have taken months of very, very hard work to get that done. There's the gramophone, there's the treasure chest, there's the palm tree, and a lovely little girl to set the whole thing off on that desert island. Well done for the Prix de Merit for Mr. E. Hughes. Hawaiian dancer. Well, you can't get her much younger than that little girl there. She must be only 4 or 5 years old, and she certainly knows how to dance Hawaiian style. This is entered by Mrs. Janet Griot, and it's little Dawn Griot who's doing all the dancing. The float is made in marigolds and hydrangeas, daisies and dahlias. About 700 flowers used here. It's a private entry, and it's certainly getting a lot of applause from the crowd. The Jersey Battle of Flowers, of course, goes back to the year 1902. It didn't survive the First World War, it stopped, but it was revived in 1928 at Springfield. And then in 1951 it came back to Victoria Avenue, and it helped to make this island of Jersey famous. And it's floats such as this, Spanish Fiesta, which is a privately entered float, the biggest privately entered float, I think, by Mr. G. Davy of Springfield. It's made of statice, asters, marigolds, dahlias, carnations. There are thousands of them used. And there's Mr. Davy alongside. He starts planning his float every year after the Battle of Flowers finishes. As a matter of fact, I saw him building this float about 4 months ago. And right behind, another very big and very colourful one. Arsenic and Old Lace. It's the members of the telephone staff of Telephone House in St Helier. It's the Hello Girls, and this is their way of saying hello to 66,000 people here at the Jersey Battle of Flowers. I can't give all the names of the people on the float, but I can tell you that there are 100,000 blooms used. It's one of the most colourful in this spectacle today. That's the Hello Girls, so get a good look at them. And following right behind, another really beautiful float. The Beaches Old Boys Association's Alice in Wonderland. And there on the top is Miss Donna Cornish. She's portraying Alice, and she is incidentally Miss Beaches Old Boys Associations. It's carnations, asters, marigolds, 40,000 blooms in all, and it took a long time to make it. And another really colourful one following up behind. This is the Jersey Hotel and Guest House Association's contribution to the publicity-conscious island of Jersey that relies so much upon tourism. The Magic Train, they call it. The man in charge here is Mr. Henry Burke. It's 35 feet long, it's 10 feet wide, and it's 12 or 15 feet high. They've made it of asters African marigolds, dahlias, statice. I'm told there are 50,000 blooms on here. They're red and blue and mauve and white and yellow. Everything is picked out just like a train, but of course a real old-timer and a really colourful part of this year's Battle of Flowers. If it wasn't for the many organisations in the island, such as the Hotel and Guest House Association, of course, this Battle of Flowers would not be the success it is. Now, here's another float which is really worth talking about. Peaceful Days from the parish of Trinity, the first in the parochial class. There are 4 parishes exhibiting in today's Battle of Flowers. The parish of Trinity, of course, has a reputation for being a peaceful country parish. I don't recollect ever having seen a thatched cottage in that parish, but here's one moving along Victoria Avenue. It's one of the biggest exhibits today. They've used 100,000 blooms, dahlias, pot begonias, pot lobelia, natural grasses and hare's tails. Miss Anne Pallow, that's Miss Trinity of 1967, is the young lady there in the period costume. Those were the good old days. The little thatched cottage with the watermill alongside. A beautiful entry from the parish of Trinity with a very beautiful young lady gracing the float. That's really something to write home about for the thousands of tourists here today. And the man who made the job of thatching the roof certainly knew what he was doing. The second entry from a Jersey country parish, the parish of Grouville. Now, they've been working on this float for months. They've exhibited in the Battle of Flowers for 4 years with considerable success, and today they've presented for the crowds a creation which they've called La Reine des Îles, the Queen of the Islands. The float is 45 feet long, it's 13 feet wide and 17 feet high. Carnations, asters, marigolds, statice, hare's tails, pampas grass, chrysanthemums. Well, there are just thousands and thousands of blooms that have gone to make this. There's the crown revolving on the front with the trumpeters, the little page boy. There's the Queen, who's, I think is Miss Susan Le Grayley, sitting on her throne, surrounded by her attendants. A beautiful entry from the parish of Grouville, and I would think one of the most colourful entries we've seen at the Battle of Flowers since its revival in 1951. It's getting tremendous ovations from the crowd. There's the lion and the unicorn. This is a really fantastic exhibit. It's taken months of preparation, and one good thing about this float is that it will not be destroyed, because the Battle of Flowers has ceased to be a battle in the true sense of the word. It's a festival of flowers. It has been for the last 4 years, and so this float will be preserved for people to see. I suppose everybody must have heard of the great musical show and subsequently a film, The Sound of Music. Well, this is the theme chosen this year by the parish of St. Lawrence, The Sound of Music. It portrays the children of the Von Trapp family from the show, and Maria is played by Miss Anne Sathian. I'm told that this is the only float in the battle this year to have topped the 1 million bloom mark. I say bloom because we're including in this the hare's tails and the statice that are used to make up a really beautiful and very intricate float. And following along behind the parish of St. Lawrence is the fourth and final parochial exhibit by the parish of St. Clement. It's called pipe of peace. It, of course, portrays the Canadian Indian, and the idea of the float is as a tribute to Canada, which this year celebrates 100 years as British North America. This is one of the biggest floats in the battle. It's 50 feet long. Cornflowers, pampas grass, dahlias of all colours, asters, calendulas, statice, hare's tails. 70,000 flowers used, quite apart from the thousands and thousands of hare's tails. A tribute to Canada from the parish of St Clements, which of course has strong associations with Canada when you work it out, like any Jersey or even Guernsey parish, because it was the Gaspé coast, the Gaspé Peninsula, which was originally peopled and populated by the people of the Channel Islands. There are only 4 parochial entries this year, but the 4 that are in have certainly done wonderfully well. And a point of interest, one of the men down below is a photographer, Dixie Dean. Dixie Dean of the Mirror. And it may interest you to know that Dixie has covered 28 battles of flowers in Jersey. This is his 28th visit to Jersey to cover the Battle of Flowers. Dixie Dean to look up. That's the man that has done so much to publicise the Jersey Battle of Flowers. 28 times he's been here. I'm told that he is due to retire in 2 years' time, so that may possibly be the last we'll see of Dixie in Jersey. Another worthy prize winner, the Caesarean Cycling Club, have come up with 2 awards for their 3 blind mice. The Wildflowers Senior Award and the Garnet Borney Memorial Trophy. Well done, the Jersey Caesarean Cycling Club. And coming up on the other side of the arena now, the Prix d'Honneur, the major award to the parish of Grouville for La Reine des Îles, that magnificent float that we saw earlier parading around the arena. A really wonderful effort, and Grouville have made it a hat-trick, because this is the 3rd time that they have won the major award, the Prix d'Honneur. It's a far cry from the old days of 1902, not that many would remember it. In those days they were small horse-drawn floats. Today, a massive bus chassis beneath that really splendid float from the parish of Grouville. Well, the Battle of Flowers is just about over, but this is one that we couldn't miss, the Prix d'Excellence. Prix d'Excellence by the parish of St Clement for their Pipe of Peace, their portrayal of Canada's 100 years as British North America. A worthy winner of the 2nd most coveted award here at the 1967 Battle of Flowers. What a terrific sight. Thousands of people streaming away from West Park, and not exactly streaming, because they're well and truly jammed up with the floats that have been taking part in the Battle of Flowers. And the helicopter hovering now around First Tower, releasing all of its load of petals. I'm told that in all there's half a ton of paper petals that helicopter's been dropping at West Park. A really stiff breeze. And it's not just petals that are blowing around either, it's all the flowers that have been thrown in the afternoon. What a wonderful sight, what a wonderful way to end the Jersey Battle of Flowers 1967.